Hi, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Mimi's Musings podcast. I'm your host Gongo Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Saturday for episode 26. If I'm not mistaken. I'm so happy that you're here. So grateful. Thank you for joining me again. Thank you for taking your time to listen. Please do listen to the end and make sure to please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Okay, please like and watch. I don't like the watch hours are crazy because people watch some of these videos are long, and some people just watch for a few minutes. Because if you do not know, I can see how many minutes have been watched. As a creator, there's a part I can go and see just how many people have viewed and what time was the breaking point. Like, how many minutes did people watch before they decided to click out? So you could be like, yeah, I watched, and I could get like 20 views, but the average watch time was like a few seconds or a few minutes. So, tafadhali, even if you feel it's boring, can you just like mute it and just let it play? Because I need 4,000 hours of watch time in order for me to be able to monetize this page. And I need 1,000 followers for me to be able to do the same. So, the followers bit might take a little bit longer, I don't know, but the watch time is very important as well. So even if you don't want to like repeat or listen to it and you're busy, you're doing something else, could you like just put the video on YouTube, like on your phone or on your TV or something, even if you're not in the room, and just let it play? Tafadhali, this is a hack I'm giving you to try and help me to get the watch hours that I need. Just put it on and do your own thing without, you don't even have to listen. Just mute it. The first time, please listen, because I need to know that I'm doing something of importance and I'm not just talking to myself. But later on, you can just rewatch it, like put it on repeat and let it just play out so that I could get the watch hours that I need. Make sure that you finish to the end, tafadhali, because that's how I get to 4,000 watch hours. If not, then I could take like forever. It could take forever for me to be able to even monetize this page. And this is the only job I have at the moment because you all know I'm not employed. I'm not making any money. So I want this to make sense at some point. So tafadhali, just put it on repeat. Even if you're not sitting there to watch, just put it on repeat. You can mute it if you don't want to re-listen and just let it play out. And that way I'll be able to get my 4,000 hours of views, okay? So thank you. If you do that, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Asante sana. Today's episode is going to be a little bit heavy. I know the last time I said that was very heavy on Mother's Day. I cried a lot. This one is not that type of heavy. It's a different type of heavy. I want to talk about women and abuse and how women react to it. I think I spoke a little bit about this during the end femicide episode, but it's like we have to keep talking about these things. So I'll tell you that these are just my musings. You can follow or you can refuse to. You don't have to agree with me because the title says Mimi's Musings Podcast. So these are just my thoughts. You don't have to agree with everything I say. And it's good to disagree. And if you do disagree with me, go to the comments down below and tell me about your disagreements, okay? So I've never been in an abusive relationship, and I pray to God that I never am. But I've had stories of women who have been abused in relationships, and the reasons they give for staying are usually very simple. I loved him too much. I have children with him. I didn't want my children to suffer. I had nowhere else to go. I had no job. I couldn't take care of myself and my children if I left. And the man said that if I left, he wouldn't take care of us. His parents were forcing me to stay. My parents were forcing me to stay. My pastor made me stay. And these women end up being beaten to death sometimes. Some of them end up being beaten to a state where they break something that, can never be replaced. They lose an eye, they lose a leg, they lose their minds. There's one I saw, mwanamke alikuwa ameng'olewa nywele. Like for a man to pull your hair from your scalp, like she had dreadlocks, and this man pulled them so hard. They pulled, like Zilitoka. This one I watched on Lin Ngugi's show a couple of years ago. And this woman stayed. And she was a working woman. This one had money, but she still stayed. So I've had so many of these stories. Women have been hurt so badly. And don't get me wrong, I know men go through it as well. But today we're talking about women. Now, when women tell these stories, there's always a reaction to how people take the story. There's always a reaction from people who have never been in an abusive relationship. For me, before I used to go like, why did you stay? And that is usually the first question anybody would ask. Why did you stay? If it was so bad, why couldn't you just leave? I tell my friends, I talk to my grandma and I always say this. The moment he slaps me the first time, I'm walking away and I'm never coming back. But I say this because I'm an outsider talking about a situation I've never been in. I don't know. What did I do for him to slap me? And did I provoke him? I don't know. And I know that's the wrong question to ask. And that is also something that the women who have been abused always say. They'll go like, I provoked him. And pastors have been known to say that to women. You provoked your husband, that's why he did that. He did that just to give you a little bit of discipline. Parents will tell that to their daughters that no, he needed to discipline you a little bit. Ulimfanyia nini? It's the same way when women are raped, people are quick to ask, what were you dressed in? Ulikuwa umevaa vipi? Before these people hurt you like that, which is crazy. So saying that, even just saying it out loud, makes me cringe because I'm like, did I provoke him? So that should not be a question that anybody should ask. The same way you shouldn't ask a rape victim, what were you dressed in? How were you dressed when this man attacked you? It's the same way you shouldn't ask an abused woman, like, what did you do? Did you provoke him? What did you do to provoke him? You shouldn't. But I think about it and my mind goes there. Like, did I provoke him in order for him to slap me? Or what exactly happened before he raised his hand on me? But that shouldn't even be a question. The thing should be, no matter what I do, he shouldn't raise his hand on me. And if he does, I should walk away. And that's why I always say that if he ever does that, I'm walking away. But it's easier said than done. Because saying it is easy. He'll slap me and I'll walk away. Kesho nitaamka nibebe nguo zangu zote nitoke. But then you imagine you have lived with this man for a couple of years. Maybe he has slapped you for the first time after like 5-10 years of marriage. And you have children, you have a business together, you have this home that you've built together and all of these things. And now you're at a precipice. You're asking yourself, what am I supposed to do now? He's hurt me. He's broken my trust in him. I no longer have faith in him because he has slapped me once. This means that he will do it again. If I stay, I'm empowering him to do it again. But if I leave, then I lose everything that I've worked for the last 10 years or so. What am I supposed to do? And so in a way, I understand when women stay. Because I've had no job for 3 years now. And while I didn't have a job, I've struggled a lot and I'm living by myself. So I understand a woman who is like, if I live with my 2, 3, 4, 5 children, this man is not going to take care of us. How am I supposed to feed these kids? How am I supposed to take care of them? There's a lady who came out just, I think, a week or 2 weeks ago, and she was like, we should normalize women walking away from marriages and leaving their children behind with their dad. And I was like, yeah, yes, I agree 100%. On the comment section, however, women, always the ones bashing other women, They were not happy. I could never leave my children with a man. Oh my goodness, why would you do that? You're saying that because you're not a mother. No mother would ever say that about her children. It seems like you didn't want to become a mother when you had your children. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, you as a woman did not make those children by yourself. You made them with this man. I get it. You don't want to leave your children behind. But when a man says, if you live with these children, I'm not going to take care of you and them, leave them. For your own sanity, leave them. You'd rather go to court and fight to have like joint custody where they live with their dad, but you get to see them like over the weekend or something like that, rather than go away with them and suffer raising children that you cannot afford to feed. Because a man can be a terrible husband, but a very good dad. I'm not talking about abusive men here, like men who touch their children and stuff. I'm not talking about pedophiles. I'm not talking about them. Them, please live with their children. Okay? But if a man is a good dad, but a terrible husband, you leave him behind for your sanity, but leave him with the children. Let him raise his children and know how difficult it is to do that on your own. Let him walk around saying that he's a single dad. And you, woman, enda jitengeneze. Start from scratch. And leave your children, because your children will be happier. They'll be in the home that they were used to. They'll be living a life that they are used to with their dad. The only difference is that you will not be there with them every single day, but then you'll get to see them over the weekends. And I know the court system in Kenya is terrible. People go to court, they're given orders, but then people do not like respect them and stuff. But do it so that you can have joint custody where he keeps the children, but you get to see them over the weekends or something like that. It's okay to do it in order for you to settle down fast. Like even if you want to come and pick them up later, you can do it. But make sure umetoka umewacha na mali wako safe and they eat well and they sleep well, they still go to school. Once you get your life together, once you get your shit together, you have a job, you can feed them, you can afford a home where they can have their rooms and stuff, then go and pick them. You shouldn't be blamed for something like that. So I get it. I get it when a woman says, I couldn't leave because I didn't want my children to suffer. But then I'm also like, watch it. If it's not abusive to them, leave them. Let them be raised and be loved by their dad. Go and take care of yourself. Because if you die because of him beating you, you will still leave them with him. Because your family will come and say, ni watoto wetu, watoto wa mtoto wetu, but he'll say, but I'm their dad and I'm not giving custody to you. And because the woman never reported that she was being abused or anything like that, even if he kills her, if there's no proof that he did it, like hakumkatakata mbele ya watu ukaona ni nini, he can say it wasn't me. And he'll be left with his children. Then what? If you died as the woman while you're in marriage with this man, you'll be leaving your children with him. So why not leave while you are still alive, while you can still enjoy your children, albeit only during the weekends, but know that they're still a part of your life. And they can come to you, they can call you whenever they need you. So, I know that will create a whole other thing, but that was not the topic. So my thing is, abuse, just leave. And I know, easier said than done, as I've already said. But the comments always put the woman down. Like a woman will say, I just couldn't leave. He was abusive, but I couldn't leave. And other women will be the first ones to be like, it looks like you liked it. It looks like you were entertaining it. That's why he kept doing it. I could never stay with a man like that. And I'm like, do you know that you do not get married to an abusive man sometimes? Things just happen sometimes. Or Yeah, you could get married to an abusive man from the beginning, but you didn't know it, you didn't see it because this man played it cool. He pretended to be an angel and you fell in love with that angel. And then you get a whole cabinet member going like women get killed because they follow this man for their money. Again, women and abuse. Why do women put other women down? How could a whole CS, during her own interview, say that women get killed because they are going after these men for their money? Well, we all know that men nowadays, they're trash. Most of them are trash. They're the ones looking for women to give them money. They find a rich woman, unasikia ameanza kudate, bado mko ile talking stage ni nini, mapenzi imejaa. Then a man tells you, hey babe, could you please lend me like 50K urgently? And that money never comes back. I saw other women saying that nowadays they're being also told like, we nunua alafu nitakurudisha hiyo pesa. Like, just buy the thing and then I'll give you back the money. And that money never comes back. Why don't you pay for this bill and then I'll refund you? But that money never comes back. And instead of us going out for a date, how about I come to your place and you cook for me? Show me how much you love me. Hey, I've done that before. I ain't never gonna do it again. A date at my house and I'm cooking for you. Baba, if you want to come and visit me at my home, you're welcome. Please, tafadhali, karibu, come. But you better come with what you're about to eat. If you want an alcoholic beverage, carry it. If you want to eat whatever, carry it. Ukitaka kuja kula kwangu nikupikie, hiyo kuku, hiyo nyama, hiyo whatever, buy it and bring it, I'll cook for you. Nitatumia gas yangu na energy yangu kupika, but the food itself you are buying. Because I've fed a couple of men in this country of ours. Hey. And I'm never doing it again. God forbid. I'm never going to do it again. So it's just no. Women, we have to stand with each other. We have to try and empower each other and be there for each other. Because you never know. It could be you, it could be your daughter, it could be your niece, it could be your mother, your grandmother. Any woman can suffer abuse. Any. You could be married to the best man on earth at the moment. Then he changes out of nowhere from one day to the next. He becomes this control freak. He becomes this abusive person that you never knew he was. You could think that you are so, I don't know, wewe ndo wa kupendwa zaidi, that nobody can do anything to you. But then you meet somebody who you think is in love with you, the love of your life, your soulmate, and that person ends up being the one who hurts you the most in this lifetime. He ends up hurting you more than that woman that ulikuwa na kejeli online was ever hurt. Na ukishafika hapo, because you are in disbelief, you're in denial, you can't understand, you don't believe that it is you that this has happened to. And I think that's when most women make the mistake. Wanasimama hapo wanabaki, siamini ni mimi nimefanyiwa hivi. Did this man just raise his hands on me? Me? And so while you're in denial, this man continues hurting you. And every time he hits you some more, like your mind cannot comprehend it still. By the time unakuja kurealize, nimekuwa nikiumizwa, it has been months, it has been years, and you are no longer the person that you used to be. And not all abuse is physical, by the way. There's abuse. There's something I saw on Jules Ha's Instagram. She had put a snippet from somebody. There's a guy who was talking about his aunt, who he says she changed in front of their eyes and nobody knew what was going on. She was a free spirit. She spoke loud and proud. She was so free. She was like, she laughed the loudest and all of these things. And then she got married to this man. And she literally changed in front of their eyes. And it will be subtle, so subtle that nobody will notice. In a group of people, if she talked the way she used to talk, loud and proud, he will just give her a look and she will keep quiet. When she laughed the way she used to laugh, he will give her a look and she will keep quiet. She'll become so docile that nobody understood what was happening. But over time, she chose not to talk anymore, not to laugh. She just became quiet. She became silent and nobody understood this because they were like, "Hey, excuse me, change. What has been happening?" And she'll be just like, adulting too. You grow up and you change some things. It's not a big deal. But no, this man made her disappear. She was there in front of people, but she wasn't there, not really. It wasn't her who was in front of these people. During those family gatherings and everything, it wasn't her who was there. This was a person who had trauma in her, who was so afraid of her husband and his reaction that she just decided to be quiet. She decided to retrieve into herself and become this person that nobody knew. That wasn't her. But imagine if she got divorced and she went back to being the woman that she used to be. How happy she would be. But would other women praise her for it? Would women go like, "Oh yeah, ni vizuri sana, you left that abusive man or that abusive situation that you are in. Look at you, you're back to how you used to be." Or will they tell her that it's okay for you to be submissive to your husband and be quiet because he wants you to be quiet? Women were our worst enemies. We treat ourselves like we are nothing. The same way the black man will always respect a white man because of that colonized brain. You see a white person and you want to fall down on their feet and kiss their feet and everything. And this is a grown-ass man. The same way they will follow their fellow black man who's richer than them, calling them Kurugenzi and Mheshimiwa and all of these names, carrying their kofias and their khakis and anatumwa anapatiwa kifungu ya gari, enda kwa gari unilete jaketi yangu baridi imeingia. And this man, your man, runs to the car to get this rich man's jacket from the car. It's crazy how men can do that for fellow men. But when it comes to women, it's where they draw the line. They cannot throw themselves at the mercy of women. There's somebody just the other day, I saw another comment where men were being like, this is the reason why a woman cannot lead anywhere. So it was a comment about, so there was this thing at church. There's a certain church that was holding a seminar for couples. And there's this lady pastor, or she's just a speaker, I'm not sure. She was talking in front of the church to these couples at a couples retreat. And she was telling them about, sex and intimacy and all of these things. The person who made the mistake is the person who filmed this and put it online. Because it wasn't supposed to be online. It was supposed to remain where it was at the couple's retreat. This person puts it online and people come there bashing this speaker. They're like, this is why, I don't know, Paul said that the church should be led by just men. The church is not for women or whatever it is. Oh, this is why women do not belong to the pulpit. This woman is so stupid. This woman is so blah, blah, blah. People are talking as if sex is not a part of life. They were insulting her, wakiita usherati. And I'm like, what exactly is usherati? What exactly is usherati, honestly? Because all of us are all here in this world because of sex. And this woman is trying to teach these couples how to be intimate with their partners and all of those things, which is a good thing. It is part of marriage. And marriage is a good thing in the Bible. It's a good thing before God. So for people to come and start insulting a woman because she dared talk about these things in a couple's retreat or whatever was crazy. And to make matters worse, women were there insulting her along the men. telling her women should not be on pulpits, women should not be talking, in church, women should remain in the kitchen, women, blah, 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 blah. This is why women are not allowed to lead. Women always speak nonsense. I was reading these comments and I was like, what? Where is all this abuse for women coming? Like, why are you so quick to insult a woman for saying something that you do? And I'm like, Kenyans are so hypocritical that whenever such things are mentioned, and in a good setting like that, people come with their dirty minds from pornography or from whatever, biased or diseased places that they go to when nobody is watching. And they bring them there. And you can tell a person's mind and you can tell a person's behavior by what they write. Because if you say such a thing and your first thought is usherati, it means it's because it's something to indulge in. Your usherati unasema is something that you're so accustomed to, such that you listen to this woman giving advice to couples and your first thought is kile huyu mama anafanya ni usherati. You are as good as your thoughts. Women never fight for women. They never do. And I've never understood why. It is very rare that you'll find a woman standing on principle and fighting for another woman. Because whenever people are bashing a woman, you will find like a good 3/4 of them are women. And then we ask why men are killing women. If we women ourselves, mwanamke anapigwa anauliwa and mwanamke mwenzake anasema aliuliwa because alikuwa ameenda kukula pesa zake. Who kills the men when they eat our money? Nobody. So that means that people eating your money shouldn't be a reason why they should be killed. There's an ongoing case in the US about Sean Diddy Combs. It's Sean Diddy Combs versus the US government or whatever. The government versus Sean Diddy Combs. This man was a sexual predator, allegedly. Allegedly. This man has been accused of nasty things. And they've been online. You can Google him and see just everything he's been accused of. You say I can do usherati. So much usherati that it's actually cringy to even just think of it. And so the case has started, and one of the people who are called to the stand was one of his victims, Casey. This lady dated him for 10 years, and while they were dating, she went through it. He would organize these freak outs and he would have escorts join them. It wasn't just Casey and Diddy, it was other people too, other men. And the things that she claims he did to her, like these people would urinate on her, in her mouth. Jesus Christ. He introduced her to drugs, and then later on, he tried to make any dealer in LA where they used to live not to make them not sell to her. And this is supposed to be helpful, but I think it was just about control. He only wanted her to be on drugs while they were together so that he could control her. And whenever they weren't together, he didn't want to, but she was already addicted. So of course she would want to get drugs even when they weren't together. This man beat her up. This man never wanted her to be with any other man anywhere else when he wasn't present. This man, he destroyed her. And this, I know I should say allegedly, but she is saying that he did this thing. So yeah, I'll put allegedly just for my security or whatever, but still, he allegedly did all these things to Casey. And so the case is continuing and she's been talking. But the comments, because now snippets of what is happening, things are being written, the statements that she's been making, they're being written online. And again, I was on Instagram and I saw women bashing Casey for this. She was paid 20 million USD a couple of years ago. I don't know if it's 1 year or 2 or 3. Like, let's just say a couple of years ago, by Diddy to settle the case when she brought it up the first time. Or was it the second time? I don't know. That's why this case right now is not about Casey and Diddy. It's about the government and Diddy. So she was subpoenaed to come and testify. I don't know if it's against Diddy or for Diddy, because some of the things she's saying, I feel like this man might just win this case if it just depends on her testimony. But she went through a lot. There's something called Stockholm Syndrome. This is whereby you get, like, you could be kidnapped by somebody and you're put in this situation in a room where you have to live with this person, and they kidnapped you, yes. They hurt you, yes. But then there's bits of some lovey-dovey situations happening every now and then that you get used to this person so badly that even when they eventually open the door and they're like, you can leave, you don't want to leave. It's not because they're not being abusive. They are being abusive. They kidnapped you. They locked you behind, doors in chains and whatever, and they hurt you. But then they fed you. They go to a point where it will be your birthday and they'll bring you a cake. You said you wanted flowers, they will bring you flowers. They will show you bits of love here and there, but then for the most part, they will be hurting you. And you become so traumatized, you get so used to the pain and to the love that you get confused. And you want to be with this person. You actually think that you're in love with them. And I think that is what Casey suffered for a lot of the time she was with this man. She was young, she was impressionable, and this man took advantage of her over and over again. So some of the things that she's saying that, yeah, because the prosecution, or I don't know, Diddy's people, they are like, you texted, he asked you if you wanted to join in on the freak out, and instead of saying no, you told him that you loved him. He told you blah, blah, blah. He asked you for consent on this, and you said yes. And people are like, yeah, she agreed to all of these things. She was just as accountable to whatever happened to her as Diddy is. And I'm like, you don't understand that she was the victim here. And if that is how you introduce to love, if this is how you introduce to whatever situation, of course you are going to feel like you need to be with them. You need them in order to survive or for whatever. Like, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what to say exactly about this situation because I wasn't there. So that's why we have to say allegedly. But everything she says she went through, I don't think that anybody in their right minds would agree to them. She was on drugs most of the time. She says she got sick, sores in her mouth and all of these things, and she would text them to him with emojis and stuff. Who does that in their right mind? And women are on the comment section bashing her. One, they hate her because she settled her case for 20 million. So they're like, you already got your money, why are you still speaking? Some of them are like, oh, she liked it, that's why she went back over and over again. And these are black women too. Like, yo. Some of them are like, she liked it so much, she went back over and over again. Or she was jealous because he never loved her like he loved this other woman. There's a lady who died, and Diddy said that she was his soulmate. After he said that, after he wrote that online, that's when Casey now finally just left. And she says that never spoke again. She's married to one of the people who used to be, I don't know, advisors or security people, I don't know. But that person used to work for Diddy as well. And I'm like, I'm thinking that's an abusive story waiting to happen again. But anyway, Let's cross our fingers that that doesn't happen, but it's dangerous. I wish she went for somebody who was never in that world. And this case is going on, and the things that she's saying, he's hearing them. I know she has probably told him about them before. He was there, he saw some of the things happen, but still, I do hope that he is a strong pillar for her and is not an abuser as well, waiting to happen, you know. But I was puzzled by what women were saying about this entire story. They were on her case. And I'm like, are you trying to defend Didi? Yes, she might be culpable for everything that happened. Yeah. Let's say that she takes accountability. Let's say that she says, okay, fine. I wanted this random man to urinate in my mouth. I wanted him to do all these nasty things that he did. I wanted him to beat me as much as he did. I wanted him to harass me, to rape me, to do all of those terrible things that he did. Let's say that she agrees. Let's say that she takes accountability for them. So, would you want him to be set free? Because she says that, yeah, I wanted him to do all those things to me. Would you want such a man to be out here? Because who will he do those things next to? Like, let's say is your daughter who gets indoctrinated into such a lifestyle at the age that Cassie was. And she goes to him and she's like, oh yes, Didi, please do this to me. Please, blah, blah. Would you sit at the sidelines and be like, she's over 18, she's consenting to him doing all these things to her, so let her live her life? Would you be okay with that? We as a society, we as women have to put a line that we can't just cross, and we can't allow other people to cross. And be like, yes, I agree. She might have made a mistake, but why did she make the mistake in the first place? Instead of just blaming the woman for agreeing to all of these things, why don't we go back and be like, why did she agree to these things? I blame it on Stockholm Syndrome. I'll say it again and again. This is how he introduced himself to her. And yes, maybe she wanted fame. Maybe she wanted to be, the greatest musician on earth, blah, 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 which is something that she never achieved, by the way, because he never did that for her. All the things she sacrificed about her life, about her choices, her values and everything, this man still never made her a superstar. She has like 1 or 2 songs that are known. He never turned her into a superstar. But what did he take from her? Her dignity, her soul, her humanity. Like, ugh. She has 3 kids now. I just hope that they are well, because this case is going to bring out a lot. But hey, I don't know. I pray for her. I pray that she goes through this with dignity, and that no matter what the haters say, she will survive it. Because people are brutal. Women are brutal to abused women, and I just don't get it. It's like they're fighting for the abuser to be set free, and I do not understand it. Why blame the victim? Or rather, why blame the victim as much as you're blaming the perpetrator? I don't get it. Why say like, yeah, she's a victim, but you know what? She wanted most of it. Why did she put herself in that situation in the first place? I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. Women, we have to change. We have to start fighting for other women. We have to put a name on the perpetrators, and we have to label them and be like, this person is a rapist. This person is a pedophile. This person is a molester, or whatever else that they are. And not be like, unajua nini? Aki ni baba yao, ni bwana yangu. Sasa unataka niaibishe familia. He's my husband. I have to protect him, and he has just hurt your children. We can't say aki unajua ni pasta wetu aki tukimsema aki kanisa mzima itajua nini. No, ni baba yangu, ni brother yangu, ni uncle yangu, no. An abuser is an abuser. And if he has done it to you or somebody that you know, you better be sure that he'll do it to other people too. Or he has already done it to other people too. You're not the first one. So let's stop defending the perpetrators and actually start standing with the victims of abuse. Mwanamke unapelekea pasta kuku kwa nyumba yake, unaichinja, unampikia, unamfanyia nini? And then he does something inappropriate and you leave that place crying, saying that nilijipeleka so wacha tu ninyamaze sitaambia mtu. And you still go to church because utakosa kwenda kanisa, utasema uliacha kwenda kanisa kwa nini? You can't tell anybody. Could you please normalize saying it? That I went to this man's house because he's a man of God. I wanted to do a good deed for him. But after I had done that good deed, he touched me inappropriately. Can we normalize saying that I sent my children to this imam or whatever for madras or whatever, like any situation? And this person who was in power, who was in a position of power, who was supposed to be taking care of my children, ended up hurting them and traumatizing them for life and not care about who he is in the society. Like, can we normalize doing that? If your child is 13 and their teacher who is 30-something sleeps with them and she gets pregnant, can we not attack the child? I heard of a story where a lady got pregnant, a young girl got pregnant, and she wasn't married yet. And her mom took her to church and was one of the people who was shaming her in front of the entire congregation, actually made her apologize to the entire congregation for getting pregnant out of wedlock. Okay. Hey, not only will I never go back to that church, I will stop being your daughter. Because you don't do that to me, no. For the church. So, women, tafadhali, let's stand for each other, with each other. Let's fight the problem and not each other, unless we are the ones on the wrong. If there's a woman who's abusing her husband, if there's a woman who's abusing her husband, if there's a woman who's abusing her children, if there's just a bad woman in the society, let's also name and shame her. But then if a woman is a good person, but then she's being hurt, let's also stand with her. Let's stop trivializing abuse. Let's stop saying it can never be me. Because you never know. You never know. There's a woman on the news just last month, or was it earlier this month? She said her child was assaulted by the neighbor. Actually, not even the neighbor, a visitor who came to the neighbor's house. And this person assaulted her child. Can you stop blaming girls when they are hurt by men and you start asking, ulikuwa umevaa nini? Ulijipeleka kwa nyumba yake kutafuta nini? Mbona ulimwacha akakuja kwako? Kwani hukujua ni pesa zake zilikuwa zimekupeleka? Can you stop asking such silly questions? Because nobody deserves to be killed because of money. Nobody deserves to be killed because they fell in love. Nobody deserves to be killed because they wanted to be loved. Nobody deserves to be killed because they took a chance on another human being. Because the truth of the matter is, each and every one of us is made to love. And sometimes we cannot choose who we fall in love with. Sometimes when you're falling in love, we can be blinded to the red flags. We see them, you can see it and you say, this is a red flag. But then because you're falling in love and maybe you've never been loved, you have trauma from your own childhood, daddy issues, mommy issues, and then this person comes out of nowhere and they're showering you with every love that you've ever wanted to have in this life. And they're showering you with the exact kind of love that you've ever wanted to experience in this life. So you take a chance. And because this person knows your trauma, because this person knows your past, because this person knows your pain, they feed into it. They make you believe that they are the best thing for you. And you fall in love with them totally, only for them to turn on you at the end. Or at the middle, because it might not even be at the end of the story. It could be at the middle of it. You've just started love bombing everything that you've ever wanted. And then katikati, bang, he changes, starts beating you, starts insulting you, making you lose respect for yourself, tears you away from your friends, from your family, for any person who might actually make you see him for the type of person that they are. And while they're gaslighting you, they're making you feel like you're stupid, making you feel like, yeah, it is my fault that this person is beating me up. Yes, I deserve that slap, and that is wrong. And by this time, you have nobody to turn to, nobody to advise you, nobody to go to and ask for their advice. And so you are left on your own and you don't know you don't know whom to turn to. And when you try to, climb above the water for some fresh air, this person keeps pulling you down and pulling you down. And when you start telling it to people out there, fellow women are the ones who are also pushing you under the water and telling you you wanted it. And so you lose the little trust that you had even on yourself. And you end up dead. So tafadhali, women, let's fight for each other. When we say end femicide, we mean it. Stand with women who are saying end femicide. Support groups like Usikimie and stuff like that and help these women out. As much as we don't like that thing of it could be your mother, it could be your sister. No. It's a human being, yes. But then the fact of the matter is it could be you. It could be your mother, your grandmother, your sister, your cousin, your niece, your daughter. And when it hits close to home, I don't know what you're going to say. Will you also have the strength to say, ulijipeleka kukutafuta nini? Ulikuwa umevaa nini? Will you ask yourself, mbona nilikuwa nimevaa hii nguo? Because when people ask that, I ask, when 3-month-old babies get raped, walikuwa wamevaa nini? Diaper? And that man looked at that diaper and was like, hey, you look hot. A criminal is a criminal, and we should hold them accountable. Okay? So, I'm going to leave this at that. As I said, it was going to be heavy. It's just that I saw this case, Didi's case, and the comments that were being made about Casey or Cassie, or however you want to spell her name, but they just made me feel some type of way. And I was like, women, you should be for women, not what I'm reading online, because it's just wrong. It's terrible how women hate each other, and I don't get it. In a world where men already hate us, in a country where women are killed each and every single day, we should fight for ourselves. We should fight for each other, not against each other. Because most of these men out there are not for us. A man can kill you because you said no to them. Let that sink in. Alikutaka ukamkataa, and that angers him so much that he kills you. And this government of ours does nothing about it. So si lazima ukuwe umevaa sijui vipi, si lazima ukuwe umeenda kwa nyumba yake, si lazima nini. Inaweza kuwa tu simply because you said no, I don't want you. And his demons lead him to killing you, and then people start talking nasty about you. So go down to the comment section below. Tell me if you agree with me or if you don't. While you're doing that, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so that you can be the first one to come and listen whenever I upload something new. And yeah, let's support women, okay? Bye-bye now. Love you.